Yo, First Smoke family, what's good? If you haven't already, sign up on the Patreon. There's 3 tiers. We don't care what tier you're on. Support the show. Patreon.com/FSOTD. And also, go check out Dr. Dabber. drdabber.com. Use code FSOTD. Go pick up an Excess, an Evo. Me and Biggs are on the Excess. As well as, we got the merch on the site. The link's going to be in the description. We got the Stonewash hoodies. We got the Black Family Reunion ashtrays. We got the Rollin' trays. Everything else is on there. All the stuff you see us rocking is on there. And you already know.
Yo, whether it's in store or whether it's online, growers, you know, growgeneration.com. Use the code FIRSTSMOKE10. Let them know who sent you. Growgeneration.com, where the pros go to grow, you know?
Go switch to drip. Grow Generation. Without further ado, let's get into it. And today we got a very special guest in the building, my man Jamie, Mr. Dr. Dabber.
Italy.
Yep.
And I'm walking through the airport, and all of a sudden I feel like a presence behind me, and I look back and there's a dog, and they're like, "Hey, you, come here." That night I won $35,000. 2 nights later I won $45,000. In a week and a half I won about 125K, and I think we played with like Neymar, and I got up to like 12th in the world ranked online before I had to fucking get out of there too.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back, man. It's First Smoke of the Day. It's your boy Pat here in the building. Here with my co-host, as always, Blackleaf.
What up, what up?
And today we got a very special guest in the building, my man Jamie, Mr. Dr. Dabber. What's good,
guys?
Homie? How you doing?
Good, man. Happy to be here. You guys are pinnacle of media in the space right now, and it's just a pleasure to be here with like industry leaders, and I mean, growing up on like, you know, Howard Stern and Joe Rogan experience, and it's such a relief to have this in our industry now. And you guys are absolutely crushing, giving like people a platform to tell their story. And it's really like the people who matter, the people who kind of gave the runway for the space. So it's really cool. And thank you guys for having me.
Dude, it's an honor. You just put us alongside some straight legends. So hopefully we can live up to it in due time. But man, got this dope ass product, a lot of dope glass and on the table here. And we just had a cool event this weekend. We were with you guys the weekend before in Vegas for the Glass Show Expo. Thank you guys for having us out for that.
Absolutely.
That was dope. And dude, we're here to talk about your story today. We go way back. People don't know that.
Yeah,
though.
that's right.
You guys go way back. Way
we
back.
all go way back, and then you
guys
and I go
even
further back.
2005, I think, was the first time we met.
Straight up.
Yeah, that's wild, man. Running the same circles.
A lot of guys listening weren't alive then.
18
Yeah.
years. Well, 18
Right?
years ago.
Yeah.
That's
Crazy,
fucking
dude.
nuts.
Crazy. And we all ended up in like this, a very similar, you know, I mean, in the industry that we were a part of for fucking so long, dude. It's like, it's really cool. It's awesome to see you guys here and just where you guys have gotten, just knowing like where you came from. It's dope, you know?
Same for you. And it's crazy that like these, you know, some of the first Dr. Dabber units, I remember being on Lance's couch and like you bringing a box by, and it was like old school style, like, okay, 500 units here, you give me this and that, and you guys making it happen. And was literally like going around and dropping off, you know, units to different people of Dr. Dabbers, you know, and at the time we had just started our first little thing together. So we were super inspired by what you were doing and like how you had prototypes. You had you had professional logos, you had professional marketing done. Like you guys were really putting a company together. Looking back, I didn't realize it then, but you guys are really putting a company together the right way, you know? So it's man, you've been a big inspiration for us on the way. And then after that time, anytime I'm in a smoke shop, I see Dr. Dabber.
Hell yeah.
And I think in my head, I'm like, yo, it's my boy right there. I fuck with that.
What they don't know is that the first vape pen ever I got was from Blackleaf right here in 2012, man. It was my whole life changed when I saw that thing. Yeah, man, it was.
Yeah. You guys don't know. Hey, there's a hustler spirit in here.
You a brand new volcano to smoke your bag.
Shout out Aaron, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
another person who was in our same circle, man. It's like he went on to make one of the most successful distribution companies in the space. He was slanging volcanoes out of his dorm rooms. You remember that, dude? It was
I remember going to the house and there was almost a garage full or a room full of volcanoes, and he had the eBay space covered.
Oh, yeah.
If you bought a volcano in the early 2000s,
2004, 2005, I think it was.
Early, bro.
Early,
when they
early.
first dropped,
Wow.
and people were like, "What
YouTube
is
wasn't
this?"
even out then. I don't,
Dude.
don't
Oh,
this
think.
is before the digital ones. This
This
is
is
where
the
you had to, like,
analog volcanoes, bro. And that's eventually that's like inspired us to, come up with the Switch and, a more like home focused device, because at the end of the day, like a lot of these portable rigs are great for on the go. But when you're in the comfort of your own home, like you want the closest thing to an actual dab rig, right? So that's really what like kind of got us to the Switch point is kind of having that respect for, the people who came before, and just like, realizing the right things to do. So, but before that, man, it's like my poker days is what really like got me into the scene as far as, knowing what it could be. Right. So,
let's go back to that though. Let's how it first kicked off, bro. I used to, like, just to lay the groundwork, I used to come by your house and you'd be playing like 5 games on the same screen. And I'm like, how can this dude even pay attention to I thought you were, at the time, I'm like, this dude's just losing money, right? Because I'm like, 5 games,
right.
I can only focus on one. How could you're giving away money on it? And then one day you're like, bro, come by. I got something to tell you. And I'm like, okay. And I show up and you say, I won last night.
Yeah.
And how much did you win?
I think the first night, so, I mean, obviously it was years of grinding without like success. And it was just, it started out as almost like, a means to, like when I found it in college, let's say, I had always been like hustling, you know what I mean? High school days, middle school days, cannabis was always a big part of my life. And before like poker, I was always hustling. Just, I loved it, right? I loved the grind. And I moved to Indiana, IU. I went to school for college, and I had no plugs. I had no means. I ended up being a consumer again, right? I was just, buying, smoking. I wasn't really doing anything in the space. And my homie who was in my dorm floor, he started showing me these checks for like 10K, 5K, 10K, 20K. Every like weekly, bi-weekly, he'd be like showing me these checks, and I'd be like, bro, what the is this, dude? Like, because when you're like hustling, you see money, but like not big chunks at one time, right? It's always a grind. So I was seeing these checks, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing, bro? He's like, poker, online poker. And I was like, what? Hook me up, dude. Just get me set up. I had never played a poker hand in my life, bro. Damn. Never played a poker. Hell no, bro.
I'll take a $20,000 check.
Dude, I took a 10K loan out from my a student loan and put it into poker. That lasted about 2 months. I lost that shit. Lost it. But I would just get money, get it on, and I would play all day, every day. I stopped going to class. Got kicked out of the dorms. I moved into a frat house when I was a freshman in college, just in a random room in the frat house. That was like the first anybody, like, the youngest person that wasn't supposed to be there and shit. And my parents pulled me from IU, and as they should. I would do the same thing, right? So they sent me to Orlando. Well, I decided to go to UCF. All my friends were at UCF. You can't finish, for anybody who doesn't know.
Yes, you can. Don't listen to him.
Don't graduated, man.
It took me 6 years, but I made it.
I took the 4-year plan and did it in 6. Yep.
I'm still a sophomore, so I'm 37-year-old sophomore. No big deal.
I got my bachelor in grow weed, bro. You're good.
Damn right. So I went to UCF in I think my first year there, I met a buddy, a mutual friend of ours, randomly. I had a class with him. We never spoke. And then one night, I get a knock on my apartment door at like 1:30 a.m. And it's our homie Sparks. I don't know who the he is. He's like with some girl. They're wasted. He's like, yo, can we use your bathroom? And I was like, yo, you're in my speech class. Yeah, come on in, dude.
He wasn't a very welcoming person back then either. We had an instance too where I was like, this dude, he's mean.
Dude, he'd come to his speech class with his motorcycle helmet, put it on the table next to him. I was like, damn, this dude's a badass, bro.
That's the homie, though. That's the homie. Such a good homie.
Yeah. I mean, there's way more to that story because he was an essential part on why Dr. Dabber is called Dr. Dabber, and we'll get into that. But yeah, so I met him. We became really good homies after that. Super random experience. Like, yeah, come on in, dude. And he's like indebted. He's like, you let me use your bathroom. I'm like, right. So, yeah, that's how I met him, and he introduced me to you, and basically we've been running kind of together ever since, right? It's like same circles. We kind of do the same things. And, yeah, it was good, but I was always playing poker during this process. Right. And people come over and it was just, I was a losing poker player, but I was fucking dedicated to learning. And one day, I guess it was the house. It could have been the house, man. That Rouse house was good luck, dude.
No, it was you, bro.
Ran pretty good. But that first week, I won. That night, I won $35,000. 2 nights later, I won $45,000. Another 3 nights later, I won another $40,000. Like it was in a week and a half, I won about $125K. That was the most money I've ever fucking seen, or like at the time it was a fucking big deal, dude. And I was like, okay, well, what's next? Right? The next thing to do is like play a live tournament.
We're going pro.
And you were getting entered into like other tournaments now. Your name's on like that list you showed me of the top poker players that are playing at there was a lot of other stuff bubbling now because of those wins too, besides just money.
Oh yeah, it was I won the Poker Stars leaderboard. Started to get a lot of recognition from that. Just among the peers, very niche community, but like, it's very similar to like cannabis industry. So it's like small group of people, and the real ones know who the real ones are, right? So it was like that kind of broke me into the scene. And it was like a lot of the people who you played with online, you didn't know like who they were, but you see the same people all the time at the final tables. So I decided to go out to Atlantic City and play a tournament. And that was my first live tournament ever. And I got 3rd place for $65K. And this is a week after, or 2 weeks after I just won like 125. So now I'm like, holy shit, dude, I'm actually good. I'm playing with like the superstars, Negreanu, Helmuth. I'm like thrown right into the mix, right? And I meet one of the best poker players in the world, and he starts to stake me in like 10K buy-ins, 20K buy-ins, traveling the world, paying for fucking travel. And I'm like thrown right into this shit. So I go from being a recreational player and like on the hustle and grind, and then all of a sudden I'm traveling the world playing 10K tournaments, and it was just fucking, it's a trip, dude. I was traveling all through Europe. I was stopping in Amsterdam before every trip. Dude, I was in a year and a half, I went to Amsterdam 17 times, and it would be, I'd fly to Amsterdam, get what I needed, go to Italy. Fly to Amsterdam, get what I needed, go to Monte Carlo. Fly to Amsterdam, get what I needed, go to wherever, right? Australia. And that was the
what was your favorite shop, or is your favorite shop?
In Amsterdam, Gray area.
Yeah, shout out to the homie. I think his name's John.
John, yeah, dude. Bro, that dude used to fucking hook it up.
I'm not gonna say been out there a minute.
Dude,
we're talking what years?
2007, 2006.
You know what's crazy? I was 18 and I went in 2007. I went for like 10 days. Like maybe we were out there around the same time.
Yeah, probably, bro.
It was so much different then.
So much different.
It was so much different. And I love Amsterdam. I love the red light district, and pray for all the coffee shops out there as they like try to like change the experience. But that's so dope. And I feel you on that. Like I remember going on a Euro trip and then like running out of weed. And it's like I had Amsterdam. We were going to Mykonos, Greece next. And we had to stop over in Manchester. And of course, I went around and got my limit at all the shops and shit. And I had all the shit. And I get back, my boys are like, I'm not taking that shit.
I had no limit at gray area. Those were the homies, bro.
Exactly.
They were the homies.
Yeah.
What you got in the back over there?
Yeah, bro. I mean, and they were the first people to bring American strains to Amsterdam. So you'd go in there, they had like the LA cons and the OG Kushes and shit like that, where nobody else in the dam had that shit. It was all like Amnesia Haze or, you know, I don't know. I can't fuck with it. I mean, I used to be able to, but now I can't really fuck with sativa. It just gets me going. But that was Dutch weed was sativa, right? It's so yeah, it was a different experience, but I loved it. I had a close call in Venice. I don't know. I guess I could say. So in Venice, I pull up to Venice. I go to Amsterdam, pull up to Venice. Italy.
Yep.
And I'm walking through the airport and about to walk out the doors, go through, you know, and all of a sudden I feel like a presence behind me. And I look back and there's a dog just like up my fucking ass, dude. Like legit, like right on my shit. And I'm like, fuck. And they're like, hey, you come here. I'm like, oh shit. My buddy keeps on walking. I was like, yeah, I of course, bro. Hell yeah, dude. Fucking keep going, dude.
Yes.
Go.
Yeah,
I got this, dude.
Never be the person to hang around.
Yeah, hell no, dude.
You need someone to come get you.
Fuck yeah, bro. I'm not trying to take anybody. I'll take that blame, dude. That's all mine, right?
Yeah.
Like, fuck. So they put me in this fucking room in the air. So before that, there's a table like this in the middle of the airport. They take my bag and put it on the table and open up my fucking bag, and there's an ounce of weed.
Oh God, yeah.
They put it on the table. People are walking by and looking.
Oh yeah,
it's
the tactic.
I'm like, damn, dude. Like, you're putting it out there, bro. Like everybody who's like just came, they see this shit happen. So I'm like, okay. They take me to a room, and it's like a bunch of people at desks, and they're yelling at me in Italian, and I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm fucked. I've seen Locked Up Abroad, right? Like I used to. I'm like, I'm toast, man. Like that's it. And I'm waiting like an hour and a half in there, just thinking about how over my life is, right? And some dude walks in. He's like, kind of like a hippie looking dude. And I was like, okay. He's like, you're American? I'm like, yeah, I'm American. He's like, this weed, where is it from? I said, it's from Amsterdam. He's like, it's good? Yeah. I'm like, it's good, yeah. He goes, okay, here's what's going to happen. He says, me and my colleagues are going to enjoy your weed, and you're going to enjoy Italy. Sign this paper. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm not signing anything. It's not in English. I'm not fucking signing shit, dude. You know, I got a translator to read it to me and shit. I was like, okay. They let me out. I get to the hotel. I find a fucking 2 grams of hash in my bag.
Wow.
But dude, that was like the close fucking call. And that's really kind of what made me start thinking about like portable ways, like easy ways to fucking smoke, right? Like how can we change this a bit? And I'm going on a tangent.
Well, the flower's like the most difficult thing to disguise. The smell, the smoke, it gets you on that tangent of there's got to be a better way to keep it low key and smoke.
Yeah.
And portable and not smell like it.
Right.
Well, and these times, we were talking about this a little bit on off the mic before this, but these times it's crucial to know that like these were just emerging. I mean,
this was even beforehand.
Yeah, exactly.
So this was like 2007, and this is like my first dab, right? My first dab, 2007. Homie comes over, and this is my homie that like my plug in Vegas at the time, grew the best sours I've ever smoked my whole entire life to this day. Fucking, I think about it all the time. I don't know if it was just like whatever. It was really fire. And he brought over his little fucking rig with the dab swings at the time, the titanium. They were like multicolored almost. They looked like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
the
and
swings.
it had a bell housing.
Get it nice and
over
red.
the top.
Yeah. And you fucking torch it and then put the swing down. And he had this black ass honey oil.
Oh God.
And that was 2007. And I was 100% sure that was my last dab. I was like, fuck this. Spent an hour coughing, passed out on the couch, was like, not functional, bro. And I was like, this is not for me.
I used to be like, can I taste blood?
Dude, I thought I was dying, bro. I thought I was dying. And I was like, okay, this is not for me. I'll stick with my weed, you know? And I had experienced oil in the past. I had some Canadian friends, but they always like put it on their joints and shit. And they called it honey oil. And I didn't think of it as dabs, or it was just like, oh, that's some like shit that you can only get in Canada that you'd put around a joint and makes it burn for like an hour and a half. Right. Those were the fucking, so that was my first experience with oil. And then the next time was in 2012 with you. You showed me, you know, I came there and you had the Atmos Raw, right?
I remember this.
You were selling them. You were flipping them.
Yeah.
At one point.
I learned that through your buddy Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, if I buy 20 volcanoes, what can you do them for?
Yep.
If I buy 30, and then I would get people like Palm Tree, I'd be like, if you take 15, I can get them to you this, and then I could buy 45.
Yep.
And we would figure out like, yo, you can flip these things and make $200 up. And it was the same with the Atmos pens because no one could get them at the time.
Exactly.
So if I bought 50 of them, I'll get them to my network.
It's like you could get them, but nobody knew about them. So you were putting people on, bro. Every person you showed one to, you were putting them on.
And then you're like, and have you see this wax right here? That goes inside of it.
This is your earwax, right? It
was a mode to yeah. What were we smoking at the time? Was it Presidential Kush wax?
Dude, the Prez,
it
bro.
Was, huh? I do remember that now.
God. Man, the Prez, what we had? Golden Goat, fucking Prez, Skunk 44. Was that it? Do you remember the Skunk 44, bro?
I told you guys I'm not lying. Yeah, bro. See, he's one of the original skunks. When people ask about skunk, he saw it when we were growing it.
Mm-hmm.
Skunk 44.
Bro, and I think back to that too, and I'm like, was it as good as I like? You know when you like when you first see something, right, and like it sticks with you, like that's like that's what I think about when I think of that Sour D too. It's like it sticks with me. But if I saw it now after smoking all the best shit in the fucking world, is it? You know, but it leaves like a lasting impression in your head, right? That's like nostalgic.
It's probably like your first kiss or something too. Where
Yeah,
you're like,
dude.
man, that I remember, man, my heart was beat.
Yeah,
there's something to it.
But
there's
that
a little
shit,
bit of both.
Man, that shit was fire, bro. I loved it. Okay.
And so we sit down and I bring out the Atmos.
Yeah. So the Atmos Raw, and man, you give that to me, and I took a hit, and everything changed for me. Then I was like, what the fuck is it? How does this work? Remember, I literally like, I wanted you to break down everything about that thing for me. My mind was blown, and I was like, this is the fucking future, right?
You can hide it. It's portable. You barely smell
Doesn't smell. And this was right around the time e-cigarettes were fucking blowing up, like the actual e-cigarettes with the juice, and it looked hella similar, and everybody was smoking them everywhere. There was no bans on them indoors. So you were just fucking going wild.
You could lie to the door guys at spots. You're like, it's a e-cig.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's at the time because people didn't know yet.
Yeah.
So then I started adding that to my arsenal. I was picking up raws from you for a while, and then I think just flipping them, putting people on, seeing people's reactions. And that summer, I went to the World Series of Poker in Vegas, and at first, I think I found out the micro G's at the time, the lipstick looking ones. At the time, that man, they were innovators, like both of them. They were OGs in the space. Shout out to them, like, because without them, this industry would have never evolved. So I was selling those to the poker players, and every one of them was just like mind blown. And poker players were always really early adopters, and they're really good at finding trends. They're really good at like seeing what's going to be relevant, and it's like it's a niche group who they come, you know, there's really influential people that play poker. I know you were talking that you play with Paul Pierce sometimes, like, yeah, playing with like, you know, superstars. And I think we played with like Neymar and like crazy shit, Pele, or like, I don't remember. Like there was so many, like you rub elbows with just like
underground community. Yeah. I don't think people realize
it's
the
very tight knit, dude.
I was telling you about my boy, and he's big out back in Miami, and then came out here and got big. And I would just come and he'd be like, yo, you know, what's up? Let's smoke. Come by. I'm at the game. You should come through. You know, and I go through over there and I'm like, oh shit, people don't realize like we're at a multi-million-dollar house in the hills, chef on site, security on site, girls giving all the players massages. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking like, weed to smoke. Weed,
they're drinking out. Like it's like a party that doesn't stop.
All inclusive.
And I'm looking at one table and I'm like, you know, there's people in there. You know, you see Irv Gotti, Paul, like I don't want to name too many, but it's like, you know, he would even call me and be like, yo, Leonardo DiCaprio is over here. Yep. Like people you wouldn't think was like, a poker game. Like,
I know people who were involved in the Molly's game shit. Dude, right?
I love that movie.
It's pretty fucking wild.
It's a thriving underground community.
Yeah, man.
Because the fish, you know, the big fish and like a whale or whatever, all the terms in the talk, right? And it's like there's a lot of whales you wouldn't even realize. Dude, this guy's, you know, worth over 100 million. He's in here throwing around a couple M's right now.
Exactly. And those are the people, right? Those are the people who come to the game. They don't care, right? They're the mark, essentially, right? In all the games. You
got a bunch of Jamies that pull up and start playing. And they're getting staked by the guys who are running the game. It's really crazy to see. The more I watch my boy with that shit, I was like, bro, you guys are playing with Monopoly money.
All the high rollers you see on TV, bro.
Like, you know, some people know how to take and they're killing it, obviously, right? But a lot of people get caught in the life and that, and it's very similar.
It's tough, and a lot of people don't know. They only see like, oh, people winning, and they don't know that like half the time those people are winning, they have to pay that money right back to their backers because they've been in makeup for fucking 2 years. So the way it works in poker is, if you're backed by somebody, let's say you lose 50K and then win 60, you're paying back that 50 and then splitting 10. So when you're playing 10K buy-ins and 20K buy-ins, that shit racks up really fast. And it's tough to get a fucking 6-figure, 7-figure score. So a lot of these people who you think fucking are probably like rolling aren't. So, I mean, that's kind of like why I decided like enough with the traveling on somebody else's dime. I'm getting older. I need to fucking do something with my life. And that's when I decided to move back to Florida at the time. And just, I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do. I was just looking. I went to school to be an entrepreneur. I went to like the Kelly School of Business at IU, or I got into the Kelly School of Business, but I never went. But for entrepreneurship, and I knew I never wanted to work for anybody. I wanted to do something for myself. So I was like, look, I was selling these pens and the oil or whatever, and I was just like looking for something to do. And I was like, and it was staring me in the face the whole fucking time. I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, okay, this is what I need to do. And I was looking for suppliers in China just for like anything I can get at wholesale and like kind of flip. And I found vapes, and I was like, oh, okay, right. I can get these for X and sell, or, you know, and sell them for Z, whatever. Like, and, yeah, dude, I started getting them like, you remember Ego T, Ego C? It was on everything. I don't know if you remember. Those are like the batteries that all the e-cigs ran on. And so I was just getting fucking samples, and I was testing it out, and I was like, this is fucking sick. And I was selling them, but I couldn't sell them for what I was selling the other pens for, because there was no branding. Nobody wanted an unbranded pen. So I was like, okay, let me see where I could take this. I was like, I'm going to build a brand. And I was like, what's wrong with vapes? They taste like burnt fucking popcorn. Every time you're tasting this like burnt popcorn taste. So I'm talking to the suppliers, and I'm like, yo, I need you to fucking lower the temperature. And they're like, we can't do it because it won't work. And I'm like, just do it and send it to me. I'll pay it. And if it doesn't work, I'll be the judge. You're burning fucking candle wax on that shit out there. I don't know what you guys are fucking testing. The nicotine waxes at the time and shit. They didn't have anything to test it with. So they just send me a bunch of samples. It was called resistance. So you lower or you raise the resistance. If you raise the resistance, it lowers the temperature. If you lower the resistance, it raises the temperature. So I'd be like, raise the resistance, raise the resistance. Send me every resistance.
Oh, it's interesting.
And they're telling me they can't do it. They can't do it. And I get them. They fucking work. And it's like, holy shit, the coils don't heat red hot, but it's still working. And I'm tasting all my dabs now. It's like the first low temp dab pen. And this was before, like I was still heating my banger red hot at the time, right? I didn't even realize but I just knew that I was getting this electronic-y taste from the other vapes. I didn't know that it was like good to smoke low temp dabs. You know what I'm saying? It just happened randomly, but that's how the first low temp dab pen was fucking born. And that's what really like, we went and I got the samples. I had 40K to my fucking name. 30K of it went to an ad agency for branding, and 10K went into an order. And at the time it was thinking about Mr. Dabber. That's and and it was going to be Mr. Dabber. And
like Mr. Peanut.
Yeah, dude, it was like, I was like, oh, I'm going to have the oil dude, the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz be our fucking logo. Or like, it's going to be, I just had this fucking dumbass vision.
It evolves with every brand's like that.
So Sparky was at my house one day, and I'm showing him the shit. And I'm like, yeah, I'm about to talk to this ad agency, Mr. Dabber. And he's like, I don't know, man. He's like, what about Dr. Dabber? And I'm like, whoa. And he's like, double D, DD, that Dr. Dabber. And I was like, whoa, fucking Dr. Dabber. So that's all I fucking had, Dr. Dabber. No more ideas about fucking Mr. and Mrs. Dabber to Tin Man. I was like, I went to this ad agency. I'm like, Dr. Dabber. And they're like, this is going to be our product. And we need, everything else. And so 30K went to them, and they did, website logos, packaging, fucking shit like that. And the other 10K went to an order. And I literally went from fucking door to door with a handwritten note. And I got shop owners be like, yo, my name is Jamie Rosen, and I started this company, Dr. Dabber. And I just need you to give me a chance. Whatever you buy, if you don't sell it, I'll buy it back from you. I'll give you your money back, whatever. And a couple people gave me a chance. The shop, well-known shop in South Florida called Marley's. They were our first like really big account to kind of give our trust, to give, put their trust in us, right? And so they gave us a shot and really like helped us get off the ground. But I'd be going to fucking Miami one day, and I'd hit every shop in Miami, right? And I'd walk into shops, and they'd be like, you're not Atmos. Get the fuck out of here. And I'd be like, what? What the hell is that, dude? And that's just how it was. It's a really like herd mentality in this industry. So you get people like, I don't know, I guess you can think of it as like fashion industry back in the day, like when people used to wear like Nike or Fila, like really back in the day, like if you wore both, you'd be, oh, you fucking, you know what I mean? So it's like you pick one and kind of like, I don't know. It's
which is crazy because like that's so far from the truth today.
Yeah.
Anybody's closet has all those brands, or the majority
exactly
of competing brands.
You could fuck with multiple brands, right?
There's layers of relatability and connecting factors that tie that to your identity.
Like, now it's Apple and Samsung, right?
Yeah, no, and that's a major statement.
Yeah,
because even for anybody, if you're on Apple and the fucking Android or something gets in the chat goes green, they know what they're doing.
Right,
changes the whole experience. Yeah. You can't use all these features now, and it just stop. And you're like, oh man, it divides the consumer for sure. But that's interesting. I mean, like you're right. Like the fashion industry now is like people fuck with multiple brands. It's okay, right? It's like
Like that's how I think it should be, right? Like, so that was the herd mentality at the time.
Those first shops you walk into, what's that like? The first
Nervous,
2
bro.
or 3. Yeah,
probably like my first podcast, dude. I'm like, right? Like, so
it's gotta feel good though to come in with a product that's like, yo, we made this. This is ours,
dude.
Even though you're getting turned down, you're like, you got that passion,
right?
Like,
we had our branded price list and business cards, and it felt like a real thing, dude. I was like, I'm a fucking, this is really cool, and it was just like me going shop to shop for probably about 6 months. I made my way from Miami up to like, I think I made it as far as like Gainesville. So I went from like, I hit like Miami, every city until fucking Fort Lauderdale, every city until West Palm, every city. Like I would just every day would do a different place. And yeah, eventually people gave us a chance and it caught on and spread like a wildfire. And eventually I was like, fuck, I need to bring people on. So at the time I was like 6 months in, and I was just reaching out to people and saying like, yo, can you help me start my business? I can't pay you. We're going to put everything back into the company. But I'll give you a piece of the company, and, eventually if it takes off, like it'll be good for everybody. And everybody passed. It was a big commitment to make, to put your trust into somebody.
How many people did you ask, like in your close friend group and shit?
Probably like 3 or 4.
You went to all the closest friends and shit that you felt like you would get a yes from?
Yeah. Oh, well, I wasn't sure.
Right.
They weren't in the, like
your best shot though. You're like, let's see.
Yeah. And a lot of people had other shit going on and shit like that. Like, so finally I was like, man, I met this dude in Cyprus when I was there playing poker. I'll go back into that.
I would love to hear about it. I was going to interject and be like, bro, when you had to move, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Like
so
throw back on that?
We're digressing back now.
Yeah, dude. I'm going off
before you started Dr. Dabber.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell us a story, even how you moved to Cyprus. Like, that's like, I've never heard of anyone being
why you had to,
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. So I kind of went on like a fucking runway.
No, we're going to cut back. We'll come This is an interesting one.
Okay. So, I was playing online poker professionally at the time. Like, this was like 3 years after my come up.
Living in Vegas.
I moved to Vegas, full time. I was playing in like, pretty much Vegas was my home base, and I'd travel all like the WPTs, and I'd be playing online poker the whole time. And because the World Series was there, they always had tournaments. It was a good place to be. They had cash games running, but I was always playing online. And then 2010, Black Friday happened, and Black Friday was, for anybody who doesn't know, is in April 2010. The the one that sees
FTC or something?
Yeah.
Gaming FAA or something?
Nah, it's fuck, can I look it up and then come back to that, or is that
just keep going. But basically they came down.
Yeah. So
what did they say? They basically banned online poker.
They banned online poker, right? So you went to the website one day.
Money.
Yeah. Oh, they seized hella money.
Shut down companies, like,
dude,
super messy.
All our money was locked up. So Full Tilt Poker and Poker Stars at the time, everybody was locked up. You went to the website one day and there was like the government seal. This site has been seized. And basically like our livelihood was like ripped out from under us. And I'm like, fuck, I dropped out of school for this. Like, what am I going to do, man? And then everybody, like there was like companies started to get people like poker refugees, to get them fucking overseas, find places that allow people fairly easily to get in. And I think at the time it was like, there was, I think there was 3 or 4 places where all the poker players kind of like split off to from the US. I think it was like, I don't know, Vancouver. What's that tax haven where people open up?
Switzerland?
No, it's
Panama?
like, it's some people move to Panama.
Cayman Islands?
No, it's some like really small city small country in Europe, or where I don't know, Malta. That's where it is. Fucking Malta. So it was Malta, Cyprus, Vancouver, and like Panama, whatever. And so I ended up in Cyprus with a bunch of like the top poker players in the world, which was fucking crazy because it was a zero tolerance country. So if you got like caught with a joint, you're going to jail, bro. Like jail for a long time. It's crazy there. And I was an everyday smoker. So nothing changed. I was still an everyday smoker. So I obviously found a hookup in Cyprus for 700 euros an ounce, which at the time was like 1,000 USD. So I started putting tobacco in my joints and shit just to make it like go a little longer.
And that's the culture out there too. I mean, spliffs. If anybody knows this, anyone from Euro from a certain period, even till now, is definitely spliffing it up. Tobacco's going in all those joints.
Yeah, I thank God I stopped that. When my son was born, I stopped smoking tobacco in general. Still hit the e-cig every now and then, but don't put it in my joints.
Maybe Dr. Dabber will start putting out e-cigs.
Hell no.
So you just packed up and moved. You were like, well, I got to do this now.
Yeah, dude. I was always just kind of like, I'm going to follow my dreams. I like when I dropped out of school, like my parents were like, okay, you're on your own. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to fucking just like do it for myself. And I did. And then they accepted it. Right. And then they're like supported me. And my dad was like my number one fan in poker. Right. It was really cool. Like he'd call me after him. Like he'd just be amped up for me. He'd be watching my final tables online and be like, oh, hi. When I hit like a river card or something like that, he'd call me like, Dad, fucking wait till the end of the tournament, you know? But he was like my biggest fan. So that's my brother too, man. It was really cool. Yeah, I met my, one of my homies in Florida was like, yo, you moved to Cyprus? I know this girl in Cyprus. Like, what? You know a girl who lives like around me? And she's like, yeah, let me introduce you. So I met her. Her name is Marissa. She introduced me to her brother, who was like the only other person in Cyprus who smoked weed. So we'd be like smoking buddies. We'd be blazing. And I'd be playing poker and we'd go out with like the friends and shit. It was really a fun time. And that came to an end. And I moved back to Florida. And that's when this whole Dr. Dabber shit started.
That is so wild, though.
Yeah.
Like
when the Black Friday shit came down, was it like next week you guys left, or like what was it like for everybody?
Yeah, it was a really fucking fast process. Probably within 3 weeks we were all out of there because we had everybody was like fumbling to get the fuck out of there.
So, and did anyone ever see any of the money back that they had in the accounts and shit? Like, did anyone ever get
people were selling their accounts for like 10 cents on the dollar
to people that lived overseas?
Yeah.
Guys were setting up server rooms in other countries so you could play from a different country through that server room and still be able to access your money or still be able to access like a lot of I remember
they were shutting because I did that. Actually, it wasn't 3 weeks. I take that back. It was like a couple months because I was doing that for a while.
I remember.
And then they started shutting people down.
Yeah. Oh, they realized the server room's in Cyprus, but he's playing out of Vegas still. Yeah. Logging in through and they were on it, bro. And people had money in accounts that they had left in the account that got like where, can you imagine you have $250,000 in your account or 150,000 in an account and the next day you go on to take it out and that's it.
So, yeah, and then you're moving to Cyprus, which is super random.
Fucking wild, bro.
What was it like living out there? I don't want to skip over that part too much. Like, how long did you stay out there?
We were there for about a year, but we were always traveling to like, European events and shit throughout.
What was that like? Like, what are some places where you're like, damn, dude?
Man, I love Australia. Melbourne, Australia is one of my favorite places in the world. Probably second to Tokyo. I didn't do Tokyo for poker. I did Tokyo, when I traveled over to Asia for business. But Prague,
this thing's so dope.
Prague was awesome. Prague was sick. And also times when I couldn't, when I ran out of my Amsterdam shit. Do you remember weebehigh.org?
weebehigh.org?
Yeah. No?
No.
So weebehigh.org was like a place where you can go and it had every city in the fucking world, essentially. And it would say, like, you'd click on Prague and it would say 1 out of 5 legality, what it is. And it would explain like what can happen possibly in if you get caught or like whatever. Then it would go down and say what the weed is like, how much it costs, where to get it. So it'd be like, go to this club, make eye contact with the dude in the bathroom. He'll open.
What?
Oh yeah, dude. I think they still exist, bro. Like you can pull it up right now and you can go to this site and anywhere in the world, it'll tell you literally where to go, who to look for. It's like, don't go here because they'll rip you off. Go here. Like
that's crazy.
Dope,
it's an essential tool.
Yeah.
So Prague was cool because I knew exactly like where to get shit, and
they're like, if he touches your leg, you're on the wrong site.
You went in the wrong club.
Yeah, you went in the wrong. That's the left bathroom. Holy hell!
I really like Italy. I didn't love Venice, but I liked San Remo, and Monte Carlo was really fucking dope. They're right around the Monte Carlo Grand Prix. So that was like, it's sick, man, out there.
What a life though. Because of chasing your passion, you've seen the whole world.
Oh yeah.
You've been able to trap, whether it's with poker or whether it's with Dr. Dabber, you've been able to Japan, China. I mean, everywhere in between.
Yeah. I got up to like 12th in the world ranked online before I had to fucking get out of there too. So
before you left Cyprus.
Yeah, exactly.
12th in the world.
Yeah.
Wow. That's fucking impressive.
And that's when poker was at an all-time high too, bro. Like all-time high.
Yeah, that was like, post moneymaker boom, man. That was like televised. I was on TV fucking, I don't know, 5-6 times back in the day because I was like ESPN final tables. It was crazy. It was a crazy time.
Playing credit card roulette and shit.
Credit card roulette, dude.
I'll never forget you telling me those stories. I have never heard that until I met you.
Bro, I try to bring it. No one fucks with credit card roulette unless you're like a heavy gambler.
I do, but I always fucking lose, man. It's like, or I'll be sitting somewhere where I'm like covering theirs too, and they put their card in, and I'm just like looking like, damn, man, like I got 2-1.
Bro, I remember going to a meal with 12 people with my last $1,500 in my account and losing a fucking credit card roulette for $1,200 and be like, what am I gonna do, man? Fuck. And then like went and get another win for fucking.
Explain to people what credit card roulette is so they know.
Okay, credit card roulette is when you take at the end of a meal, you take your cards and you put it into a pile, and then somebody shuffles them under the table, and you'll say stop. So it'll be 3 cards in there, and you'll say 2 safe. So then you take it out and 2 safe. The next one says 1 pays, top pays. So the top card pays for the whole meal. So you have like a 33% chance at getting a free meal, or you have a 33% chance at losing, at paying for the meal. And you have the 67% chance at getting a free meal. So it's like, I love it. It's a gamble. It's fun.
You're going and you're getting someone's getting pasta, the other person's getting like a lobster and steak dinner, and you're this motherfucker. Like, oh
yeah, it don't matter.
You hungry now?
Yeah, it's fun.
Shit. I just lost that.
It's a fun lifestyle, but it's not sustainable. Like, it gets old, man. Living out of a suitcase and fucking, but it's really fun.
That part. Man.
Yeah.
That part. In Vegas, I lost in K1 speed and had to buy these fools all dinner and shit.
Nice dinner too. We were going to go somewhere cheap, and then this dude don't eat cheap. So we went somewhere nice and it was fire.
Yeah. I like a good meal.
Yo, what up? It's Blackleaf. I'm here at Grow Generation, and guess what? Drip Hydro storming the market. All the best growers I know are switching to it. And guess what? There's a reason, because it's preserving terps. I keep hearing that, preserving terps. And that's why we're here with Sunshine, facility advisor, facility manager, overall the man with Drip Hydro. Listen to why it's different, man.
What's going on, guys? Sunny here with Drip Hydro. Thing is, at the end of the day, we just wanted to make a simple, clean, cost-effective nutrient line that nobody has really seen on the market right now. Nobody uses really our chelation formulas. The micronutrients that we have pulled to make this line is really just what makes it overall bringing that consistency and quality back to what we want to see in growing herb again. And overall, at the end of the day, it's still really light on your wallet. It's a 5-part nutrient line. And again, if you're not staying sterile, or you have a big facility and you don't want to run rock wool and you want to run a mix of cocoa with an enzyme or something, you don't even have to run flow with it. So at the end of the day, it's just saving you money on your wallet while bringing the consistency and the quality of terps back. We wanted to bring the terps back and bring the soul back to growing.
Versatility, cost effective, and quality. I mean, what else can you ask for? Drip Hydro, first smoke of the day, Blackleaf approved. Peace.
Yo, we're right here downtown LA at the Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. And if you didn't already know, whether you come in store like us or you go shop online, growgeneration.com, use the code FIRSTSMOKE10 and they're going to give you a 15% off your already discounted price. Make sure you come check it out. Come check out the Drip Hydro and everything else. We appreciate you guys, and you already know. Let's get inside. Yo, what's up, First Smoke family? Want to take a second to remind you guys we appreciate your support for hopping on the Patreon. It's patreon.com/FSOTD. We got brand new shows that have been hitting. They're exclusive to Patreon. You won't see them anywhere else. Make sure you get on Patreon, support the show, join the family. We got in-person events and much, much, much more. This is a real community, and we show a lot of love. And also, shout out to Dr. Dabber. We got a lot of things we're about to unveil, a lot of things we're about to roll out. Go get you an XS. That's what me and Biggs are smoking on. We're smoking that XS, Dr. Dabber XS, and use code FSOTD for 15% off, drdabber.com. We appreciate you guys. Peace.
Yeah, we got a dope video from Vegas when we came out to see you, and then we went to the K1 Speed, and all of us are racing, and we got the cameras on the helmets, and bro, we got some cool vlogs for that.
And the UFC people there too. That's fucking dope. Sean Strickland. Yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, he's a cool dude.
It was dope, man. Being in Vegas was tight.
Yeah.
So you come back from Cyprus. What's going on in your mind coming back? Like, did you change your game plan at that point, or were you like?
I had no game plan. I had no game plan.
Did you go back to Florida or Vegas?
I went back to Florida.
So the first few people, you got your nose. When did it start working for you that people were like, yeah, I'll take some equity. I don't need any money right now. I'm in this for the long game.
Yeah. So I reached out to Pant, who's my smoking buddy in Cyprus. And I was like, yo, I'm starting a dab pen company. And he's like, what's a fucking dab, dude? And I'm like, oh yeah, this is like, it's this concentrate and it's like weed, but like, it's concentrated weed, man. It's like, it's crazy. You got to come. And I'll give you, a percentage of the business and I'll fly you in and I'll pay for your fucking rent and I'll buy your food, and I can't pay you, but I'll like buy you shoes, because he was a huge sneakerhead at the time. I'll buy you like a pair of sneakers a week. So kind of just like,
appeal
to
the,
and he's like
sneakered up.
Yeah. He's like, when's my flight?
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Well, why him, James? Why him? Because you just felt like he was a good businessman?
So he ran his parents' coffee business in Cyprus. So I knew that he knew business, and I didn't. Like, I knew how to like hustle, but I didn't know how to manage a team and like set expectations and kind of like how to be a boss, how to like
a leader. I hate the word boss though. It's a leader, because it's like, to be a boss, tell people what to do. You still cannot know what to do.
Yeah, exactly. A leader.
Well, and no one likes a boss.
Look, I've done these tasks. I'm gonna train you guys. We're gonna be a team. Everyone's gonna take their fucking position.
We're a family at Dr. Dabber.
Exactly.
It's like everybody, like, I think right now the average person has been there for fucking 5 years or something like that. And that's average with like new people, because most people are there since we moved to Vegas in 2016 or December 2015, 2016. So, we have like a really tight knit group. I would say a leader is a good word, because that's my team, and I'm nowhere without them, bro. Like, they literally, like, I could only help to like a certain extent, and then it was beyond me, way beyond me. And people come and give me credit, and they're like, "Oh, you did." I'm like, "Yeah, no, my fucking team is really responsible for where we are today, right? I helped getting to point B, and now we're like going on, Z, there's many pieces to the puzzle." So
Pan says, "Where's my flight?"
Where's my flight? So he met me in Denver for Champs. Was the first time. He literally met me there, and I fucking picked him up at the airport, and I had a fat ass blunt at the time. I think I was smoking blunts, and I rolled up a blunt, and I got him in the car. I'm like, here. He's like, I can't smoke that. He's like, I've been smoking a pinch of fucking weed, you know, like.
Oh shit!
And no, he did smoke it, and he fucking, you know, he had a moment, and he's like, I can't smoke those big blunts, and eventually like he moved into being able to like smoke Americanized sized portions of weed. But he met me there, and he didn't have a clue about like what we were doing at first, and he's like, I'm just here for it, and he was like essential. I mean, he's still essential. He's a huge part of the business right now. And he's a huge part of why we're here where we are today. He's really good at like, keeping the group tight and kind of like, I don't know. He's a really good manager, right? Overall. So, he helps a lot. Yeah. And that was a great first employee or partner, not employee. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a partner.
Yeah. It's a partner. So,
did you and him rock that champ show, or what was that first show?
Yeah,
is that your first show?
Yeah, it was just me and him, and I think Spart. I don't remember. I think I don't remember that actually. I can't recall, but it was our first show ever, and it was like 5 months in. Somebody told me like, you got to do trade shows. So I was like, okay, I'll look at every fucking trade show. I started setting up, you know.
Champs was the big one too. Huge.
It was huge. Yeah. It's still really, it's the biggest. So he met me there, and we started off, and it was just us, and we grew the company to, you know, where we thought we were like packaging shit. We were packing all the bags in the fucking garage of our apartment. Like everything was in the garage, and, packing up packages. I'd go wait online at the post office every day. I'd be sitting there with a box, and the box get bigger, then be 2 boxes, then it'd be 5 boxes, then it'd be, and one day I went to the window, and she's like, you know, you can have a truck pick it up. And I'm like, oh, what? Word. Okay, cool. But like we got to that point where we had enough volume where like I didn't have to be waiting online every day. But it was just us, and then we're like, okay, we need a bigger boat, right? So we got a warehouse, and then it's like, okay, well, now we need, you know, somebody to help us in the warehouse, and it's like, okay, a first employee. So I found, you know, one of my buddies, but like it was always like, yo, who's gonna help? It's like, it's not like we're gonna put out an application or like a job description and wait for that. It was like, oh, who are we gonna bring in? And we got Andy, who's we call him Tuffy because we did a Facebook fucking rapper generator name for him, and it's Tough Daddy. So the name Tuffy stuck. And he was our first employee, and now he's operations manager at Dr. Dabber. Also has a small piece of Dr. Dabber as well, because, you know, just take care of the people who are there for us along the way. And yeah, he's still with us. That's 10 years. We're going on 10 years this year.
Damn,
yeah.
Man, congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
First legacy milestone, 10
Wild.
years. And that's
wild.
when you really like you're a footprint, you know?
Yeah.
Like people remember it.
And where we kind of came from to where we are now, where the industry is now, it's so cool to see because, I mean, we kind of, I would say, kind of paved the way for the industry. The first low temp dab pen that kind of expanded, people tried to replicate, make better, whatever. Cool. Innovation drives innovation. I love competition. That fuels us to make another thing that's better. That makes somebody else make something better, right?
Yep.
So,
just how industries are born.
2014 was the butter cutter. First loaded heating loading tool, right? There's many now.
Shout out to
we
Dave.
made the mistake. Shout out to
Big
Dave.
shout out, Dave.
Yeah,
Dave,
absolutely.
Man. I hope you still ain't smoking the mosquito legs, man. I want to catch you one of them.
If you really knew how essential part of Dave, like, and certain people know who we're talking about, but Dave was the originator of some of the gnarliest strains in Central Florida. I mean, some of the best strains I ever grew that like the homies I look up to ever grew came straight from Dave. The grapefruit, if anyone smokes grapefruit in Central Florida, that came from the homie. The real grapefruit.
What's his last? Oh, I'm just shout out to Dave.
No, but like, I mean, bro, so many strains that Dave had, that the Elvis,
that was a skunk. That was a skunk 44.
So many strains where we'd be like, what is this? The
DJ Short Blueberry.
That was Palmer.
Oh, okay. But, that shit was, and the juicy,
bro, the juicy fruit. Like, I mean, so many strains came through this little crew where like, Dave was an essential, and then just sitting there and him having this idea, and like you guys being able to, you guys were friends, and you guys now were like, yo, let's do something together. And what, 15, 12 years later, you're still like,
we're working on V2 right now. So,
bro, and your first employee is there that long, is still with you.
Yeah.
It says a lot about you and your company, bro.
And really so does. Is our third employee, or our second employee as well. And our third, and our fourth as well. Like, we have like a very strong team.
So where to go from Tough Daddy?
So from
Tuffy. Shout out to Tuffy. Shout out to Tuffy. I see you.
Yeah. So we were traveling to trade shows all the time. We were like, okay, Florida may not be the place for us, right? We were there for I think 2.5, 3 years. We were at the point we brought in a graphic designer, but he was not in house. Finally, like later on, obviously we have that a lot more than that. But yeah, we decided like, let's figure out where we're gonna fucking go. And obviously, like the logical place would be like LA because the scene is popping. A major city. But having lived in Vegas. Half the trade shows are in Vegas or kind of around it. It's a good kind of hub. And it was like, okay, well, let's go to Vegas. I know it. Food's fire, good entertainment, convenient, 15 minutes to drive anywhere in the fucking city. You don't see the strip if you're off the burbs. Like there's a lot of benefits in my opinion. At the time, cost of living was really cheap there. You can get like a nice big house. And to me, it's still one of the best places. I've been everywhere, and it's still one of my top places to live in the United States. I don't know that I want to keep my kids there long term, but we'll see. But yeah, we decided Vegas was the place, so we moved to Vegas. And I remembered that there was this head shop next to the Palms called Mr. Bill's, and there was always this dude in there that really fucked with us. He was like super cool. And I went in there and I was like, yo, do you want to work for us? Do you want to come and like, be our first kind of employee? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. And he came and that's the shaman. He does all of our lives now. That's Daniel. He's worked his way up. He was working in the warehouse with Tuffy at the time. He worked his way up from warehouse to warehouse manager. Now he's head of sales. He really he tries just to learn and learn and learn and learn and learn. He never stops. And he's just like a gem of a human being. And he grew with the company. He was our first. Then he recommended people to bring on like his friends. And then he brought in Chase. And now Chase is our head of customer service. To this day, he's like, he's the reason why we are like where we are today, because our customer service has won awards. We have a no questions asked warranty. We do all repairs in house. He handles that. Like we have, I think like 4.6 on Trustpilot, or 4.6 like stars out of like thousands and thousands and thousands of reviews. We have a A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Like you don't find that in the vape industry. We have, so I'll get into this, but we have like a very low failure rate percentage now. But when Chase started, we didn't. We were dealing with the same issues as electronics that we were just kind of like dealing direct with, our manufacturers. We didn't have anything like engineering wise. So Chase was handling all the customer service and just making shit right with everybody. And we'd give a lot to get a customer to like, it's electronics. Shit happens. At the time, it was like you're putting oil in a fucking electronic device. Obviously, eventually it's going to fail because it's not made for that. It's just like parts put together for that, right? At the time. So they didn't last very long, but we'd just make it right with all of our customers. It's like we'd give up a profit on a customer just so he would he'd go tell 10 people like, yo, Dr. Dabber fucking gave me replace my vape pen when it failed. And that kind of like the word spread, right? It's like they'll tell 100 people if we don't, right? Like if that shit failed and we didn't do that, like they tell 100 people. They'll tell 10 if we replace it, which is cool, but they'll tell way more people if they don't fuck with us, right? So we always know that like customer service number one, always. So that's really what the business was built on with Chase at the fucking helm. So that was employee number 4 or employee 3. Yeah.
And it just keeps to build. So you move the team out to Vegas and it starts to just go as far as you have a sales guy now, you have customer service. And then how do you bring on your engineer where things start to really change?
Okay. So,
because this is when it becomes like a big company. And
hold on. First, because I know I watched this kind of happen. You were obviously pretty exclusive to Florida in the beginning. How did you grow the sales outside of the state? You brought in these people and like what did you guys do?
It was all trade shows. It was all trade shows at first. Yeah.
So you grind, and I remember you guys grinded every trade show.
Every show. Yeah, we started seeing you guys there when like.
Well, we would just be at them randomly and be like, "Oh shit, fucking
Dr. Dabber,"
and we were like, "Damn!" Like, so it's we saw that kind of firsthand. Like that was your stick in the game, and so just straight trade shows. Did you ever get? I remember maybe we talked about like call centers and stuff like that, like kind of reach out program or anything.
No, never. I wanted it always to be authentic.
Yeah.
Right. I never wanted to deal with fucking call centers or people spamming people. What happened was we signed an exclusive. So at first it was just me like, contacting people and shit. And we signed an exclusive distribution agreement with Vape World, which was Aaron's company at the time. And the story behind that is pretty funny too, because I went to them when we first started and they laughed us out the door. I thought like, oh, he's my homie. He's definitely going to pick up my product. And I went to him. I'm like, yo, I got this product. And he's like, cool. Where is it being sold? I'm like, no, nowhere. This is the product. This is the branding. Like, you're the distributor. He's like, I don't want, like, do something with it and come back to me. I don't want it. Like, a year later, they're banging our door down. Like they're like, want to be exclusive, right? So we got locked up in an exclusive agreement, and it kind of changed the vibe with kind of our old retailers. They were getting into newer stores, but they weren't taking care of our older customers and shit. So that was like, it was kind of like a bad look at the time, right? And they were putting up numbers, right? It was they were putting up numbers at first, and things were good. But then they started picking up more brands, and more brands came into the space, and shit started getting diluted, and they weren't putting up the numbers that they said they were going to put up. And we kind of like were still in this agreement, and we were like couldn't do shit about it. And
it's a good learning process, Tom. A lot of learning.
Yeah, this is with someone you fuck with.
Yeah.
Everybody's organic. Everyone in the company, it's like my homie's friend.
It's important for people to know it wasn't just some random distribution deal. It's like one of your right-hand homies. Oh, yeah. And it's important to know that like, this was like someone you knew really well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So the deal wasn't with like some.
But they were corporate as fuck.
Company.
They were corporate as fuck at the time, right? So it wasn't about the homies. There was no homies at the time, right? It was like, it was all business with them. They are fucking kind of cutthroat. Like, so lawyered up. We weren't. We were in a kind of like fucked up deal where they weren't putting up the numbers, but we couldn't sell it ourselves. So that was kind of a weird point for us. So we got out of that deal. Finally, we were able to start building a sales team and kind of get that personal feel back. But never call centers or anything like that. And then we built a team, and that's where Daniel's headed now. Like he's heading that team.
How do you get out of a bad deal, or a deal that's not, let's just say a bad deal. How do you get out of a deal that is not working anymore?
You wait for it to finish. If you have nothing, no way out. It's like you hear about like in the music industry all the time. They sign with the record label. The record label doesn't fucking put out their shit, and they're stuck in this deal. And then they go out and then they boom after that because they have like, you know, room to grow.
Get you some Skittles, bud. This dude over here dabbing top tier Skittles. I could smell it through the whole room.
This is kiwi pie.
Oh, nice. West Coast. Jesus. That flame, that flame. We're all smoking heavy. You're simply doinks you got over there. We got fire. The heady heads joint here. You got we're passing around the Dr. Dabber with some absolute flame rosin.
How much money they gave you, man, to sell it?
Shout out the first smoke of the day family reunion. For real.
Bro, what a fucking show that was. You guys absolutely crushed it, dude. Crushed it.
Capacity.
I have to look at people and make sure they're serious when they keep saying that, because I'm like,
dude,
like,
and then the fucking video came on.
It's a start. It's a start. Like, because you know we got grand aspirations. Like, I mean, catch up with these visions is gonna take a lot.
Bro, I heard people saying like, oh, I was just at this venue and I didn't know it could hold this many people. Like, it's pretty cool. And then that video that came up, it was kind of epic, bro. That shit was tight. You know, I really
shout out to Cody, man,
dude.
That's his specialty.
Killed it.
We had a fire dancer. We had the absolute best flame in the building,
dude.
All bosses too, like dudes from other states. You're seeing people from all over the country who flew in, and they all run brands or have shops or, you know, just heavy in the industry and love the industry. Yep. It was an awesome meeting place. It was one of the best events I've ever been to, just as a spectator. It was dope, man. It was awesome to have you there too, cranking out Dr. Dabber dabs.
Yeah, I was stoked to be there, man. Yeah, thank you for having me.
No, it was awesome.
Shit. So, you know, you're getting into the 3-4 employees now, and we were talking a little bit about distribution, and you're stuck in this deal. Feel like your company's locked up. You're like, you can't buy more units. You can't sell the ones you got. You're just like, what do you do at that point?
Well, we develop new shit and we fucking put it on the burner until we're out of this deal. We're like, okay, let's fucking build, man. Let's build. 2015, we came out with the first e-rig, the first electronic rig, the Boost. That was literally the first electric dab rig ever on the market. Okay. That's what they were selling. So I think at the time competitors started popping up, right? So we were like, okay, we hired a marketing director. So we had a few more employees at the time. I think we had like 7 or 8 employees. My marketing director was like, he was from the oil and gas industry beforehand. He's like, I know a bunch of engineers in the oil and gas industry. So I was like, okay. He's like, they work on like electric, or not electric. They work on fucking the carriers in the ocean, like the rigs, the oil rigs, right? That's what they do. He's engineering for that. So we hit him up and we're like, yo, we want you to design a vaporizer for us. He's a 70-year-old dude. He's like, oh, what? From Texas. Oh, what? You know? And we're like, we want you to make a vaporizer for us, and this is what we want. And he's like, you know, I make oil rigs, and this will be cake, you know, like, okay, cool. What do you have? Like, he's like, have you ever thought about induction? And I'm like, what's induction? It's like, induction heating is where magnetic waves heat your product. He's like, we can probably achieve our temperatures within like 1% range and heat up in 2 seconds, 3 seconds. I was like, that is sick. So I was like, let's go. And at first it was like, he had sketches and it was like this big box, and it was like, okay, like we had no industrial designer at the time. It was just like us, like, let's change some shit. And that's why it's not like the prettiest, it's the best functioning unit on the market. I'll put everything behind that. Heats up in 3 seconds, has 25 heat settings on advanced mode. It has crystal settings. You can put, there's no atomizers whatsoever. It only will heat. So the way induction works is magnetic waves power like metal, right? So anything metal that goes into this magnetic wave heats up. But if there's no metal, it doesn't heat up. Like you could put your finger in it when there's no dish in it. It's just like glass chamber. You could put your finger and press the button and it won't go on because it knows that there's no metal in there. So that if there's metal in there, it heats up. That's what it does. So we have, I think, like 6 different inserts: ALN, SICK, sapphire, quartz, smooth ceramic. There's just like endless possibilities because it's a cup that sits in a metal dish. The metal dish heats up to a specific temperature within 3 seconds with a ceramic dish on standard mode. But if you go into crystal mode, it takes more time to heat up the dish within the dish. So that takes about 20 to 30 seconds to heat up.
From all sides?
Just from the sides.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but it heats up everything that's within it, right? Mm-hmm. So if it's in it, like everything will heat up, the bottom will get there eventually. But everything is like to the point temperature wise. But that thing, it will last for over 100 hits per charge. Has a 2-year, no questions asked warranty. We have a under 1% failure rate on the switch, which is like unheard of for any electronic. I think the standard is 2.5. And I mean, like all of our products are under 2 and the switch is under 1. Yeah. So our engineer came on and he had an assistant engineer who was helping him develop the switch, who is now our chief, engineering, officer. Like, I don't know what we're actually like, but he's our
chief technology officer.
No,
CTO.
No, we gave him a title the other day. I can't remember, but I think it's spelled out like cop. But he handles all of our, like, now he's like our main dude. So they made the switch, and then we made the Evo, and then we made the XS, and now every item that we have right now is proprietary, right? We have patents on everything. So right now we have a patent pending for our induction heating, right? The induction heating and a vaporizer. For the Evo, we have the quick connect adapter, which is essentially like a shotgun or like a blow off valve, right? Like on a car when it releases the blow off valve, right? So this is like old school carb, right? Like you want a fucking hard ass hit, you hit it and then you can dictate the direction of like how much smoke you're getting in. So you can get like a straight shot. That's the Evo. And then the XS has a thermocouple built in. So it's into the atomizer. So within like 1% range on temperature on this small device. So that's our first nano E-rig. But yeah, our engineers are fucking rock star. And since then we've brought on, I think, 3 more engineers, industrial design. So yeah, that's where we're at now.
Wow, it's impressive, man.
Talk about being a company for 10 years and how many times you thought, damn, this is it. I'm really going to have this talk with everybody I just gave equity to and probably say that like we might go under. Cause it's the truth for everybody.
There was
that's been on the journey at least and got to make it this far. Cause 10 years in, one brand, congrats, bro. Not many make it 10 years.
I can go into a couple, like, first of all, we have so many roadblocks. I mean, still. So, when we first started, I think we had, 15K after our first, something like, I don't know. It was we were taking PayPal at the time. And PayPal locked up our money. And they said, you can't touch your money for, I think it was like 180 days or something like that. Something crazy. And it was like all of our money. And we're like, okay, well, fuck, what do we do? Thank God, like my mom lent us some money at the time. It was not a lot. And we were able to like, you know, build from that. Like that was almost number one. But not big events along the way. We've been shut down by credit card processors. We're not allowed to advertise on any social media. We're not allowed to advertise on YouTube. We get like, we're classified as a nicotine delivery system. So we have to pay crazy taxes. Like we gotten packages seized, you know, coming in. So it's like, they can't pick. They're like, you're paraphernalia, you're this. We get, there's just a lot of roadblocks, but you have to overcome them. And I think another time was I decided at a certain point, I was dealing with these factories and they weren't like complying with a lot of the shit. Like, so I was like, I could do this better. I'm going to open up a factory in China. So I went out to China and I opened a factory, bro.
It's passion though. That's your passion. You're like, nothing's going to stop this train.
Yeah. And I just do like, you know, I have a team I consult with. Like we decided it's a good idea. We move on it now. But in the past, I've been impulsive and I'll go through with.
What was that like? That experience, like starting a factory in China?
Wild, man. It's wild.
I had to learn through that.
Not to do it. Nah.
stick to what's
there's no accountability. So the same shit that was happening was happening to us, but there was no one to hold accountable besides us. So we'd lose like a 10,000 unit order or something like that at time was big. I think that was like 2016, 2017. Yeah, dude, we lost like a big ass order and there was no one to hold accountable besides ourselves. And then I was like, fuck this. I'm not doing this anymore. I lost a lot of money in that. And then just partnered with a really good factory. And if there's any issues, everything is held accountable. Right. So, yeah, it's a good partnership now. So.
Damn, that's great. Talk about like, cause I remember during these times too, if we were talking or you would talk, whatever, he'd be like, yeah, Jamie's in China right now. So his sleep's all fucked up and everything. Like, yeah. Talk about those first trips going out there and like how you guys found your manufacturing. Oh, you know what it was? We would ask you so many questions because we had the t-shirt brand at the time. Clothing
Flagrant.
line. Exactly.
Flagrant?
Flagrant.
Exactly. Bro. Yeah. Flagrant fashion, right? Or
we had Flagrant and then we realized some fucking guy. It's another good lesson.
Hell of a story, yeah.
There was another company that was like based in New York who had the name Flagrant and they had trademarked it, right? And they were doing like cartoony stuff or whatever it was, right? And so us trying to be like legit business, this is another good lesson is like, we could have easily just done that. We could have
just become bigger.
Yeah.
Like if you really want a name or
bro, you guys,
shit, you just become bigger.
I fucked with you guys so hard when you guys were, it was Flagrant Fashion. It was like the 2 F's, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back to back, dude. I love that branding, man. That logo,
first brand together.
That logo was fire. The clothes were fire. The Obama shirt, man, the fucking fire. Man,
the Obama shirt, that was a good one, bro.
Man.
Him smoking a joint that said, "Excuse my flagrance."
Yeah, dude. Excuse my fragrance. Yeah,
into fruition with the grow scene.
Yep,
I love that shit, bro. I really,
you know what that was? It was just like your journey into China. It's the same thing for us.
We were on the hunt though for clothing manufacturers and shit, and like we didn't know what to do or this and that. So I remember we would often discuss your journey and be like, man, maybe we should ask him, like, because you were out there sourcing to get these made. So talk about that a little bit, because I know a lot of people that start something or whatever, they think about that. Like, damn, what would it be like to go out there and figure it out?
So it was after like a couple of years of dealing with them, I just felt like I needed to make my way out there, show face. I felt like I was like, you know, probably a big part of their business as well. And, I decided to go out and just be more kind of a part of the manufacturing process. And that's when we were designing, like before our engineer came on, like the Aura, which turned into the Aurora because we got sued by a fucking Dominican cigar company, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. a cigar company. Like dude, no one's confusing our product with a cigar, right? So we had to change our name. That's another roadblock, right? Yeah. Getting sued for fucking stupid names that have nothing to do with our name and having to like change shit. Like, okay, so, but I'd go out there and I'd deal with directly on, I'd be like hands-on with all the production before I brought on my engineers. So I always wanted to be like kind of more hands-on when I was in the US, I was playing poker during the day. When I first started, I was talking to China on Skype from like 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Then I'd sleep till like 11 and go play poker. And then I'd go on Skype. So it was good to like be in there, be hands-on, be in the factories during their daytime and be on the same schedule with them. So it was cool to experience. And I have a trip planned soon. I haven't gone 3 years because of COVID, but yeah.
Fucking A.
What's your favorite thing when you travel over
Food.
there? The food?
Food, man. Yeah.
Do you have a specific spot that you're like, when I'm in?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a spot that has these barbecued oysters and Chinese barbecue. It's amazing. Yeah.
In what part of China? Do you mind saying that?
I'd rather not say,
Okay.
because it's a part that there's not.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's proprietary.
That's IP at this point.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of the shit happens in one area, which is where we used to deal with. Oh, so at the time I was going to Shenzhen. I could say that that's where everything was made at the time.
Yeah.
but-
What's that area like? Just like as if for someone visiting, is it like super
No, very industrial. Yeah, very industrial. Very fast paced though. Things are open late. Kind of like, good food. The first time was sketch. I'm not gonna lie. When I went and I was eating food there, I was super sketch. And then I've been way more open minded when I go there. But my favorite part is food. I'm a huge foodie. I do my research for like a month before I go out to China. I'll go on their Yelp, like their version of Yelp, and I'll line up all the fucking restaurants I want to go to. But yeah, that's it. It's like food, factory, sleep while I'm there. And I'm just one track mind, is to like, keep shit moving forward.
Favorite part of China to visit? Just on some vacation
Macau.
shit. Macau?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the gambling scene.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about that a little bit.
It's just crazy, man.
That's something you just hear about.
Yeah. It's wild. There's
Is like
there's,
Vegas on steroids or what?
it looks like Vegas on steroids, but it's dead.
Really?
Wow,
No one
really?
there. That's even trippier.
It's a weird ass fucking-
Imagine going to Vegas and no one there.
Dude, it's weird, bro. You
Slot
walk through an
machines are
empty
going,
casino,
you look and you're
bro.
like, where are the people?
Yeah, dude, because I think
Because no one has money.
I don't think
like
you're
that, or
allowed to
what?
go as a China.
Yeah, you're not-
a Chinese citizen. You're not allowed to go.
You're not allowed to go. You're
And it's
banned.
in China?
That makes sense. Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking like, is it in an area where there's a lot of wealthy people living, or is it in an area where it's a
yeah,
poor area?
Yeah,
That's
I
what
think
I
they
was
speak
thinking that-
Portuguese there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird.
Cool place.
So-
Yeah,
Different.
it's cool. It's but it's just like
So is it just event based? I guess if the events going there, like, well,
yeah.
when-
I mean, I
if
guess
it's your
so.
favorite place to go, why is it?
Just they have good cash. They had good cash games at the time. And like I've only been to a few places. And actually, like my favorite place is Hong Kong, but it's not a part. I don't think it's necessarily
Right.
yeah. Or
But
I
it's
guess
the
it is
region.
now. So it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hong Kong is my favorite place. Macau's cool
What's
because I could play poker there, but I haven't played poker in 5 years now. So
Wow.
yeah.
So that's so crazy how it was like a career and then you're like, no, now I do this.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope, man, that you can close chapters and move on and not have like this gambling issue still. And you're only kind of half-assing it because you're not into it like you were. And
I realized after I had I tried for the first 3 or 4 years to like do the World Series of Poker but then I'm leaving everybody who's working hard and I just feel kind of, I don't know, bad about it. And I want to be, as involved as possible. I don't want people to resent me for, fucking off and I have responsibilities. And eventually it started feeling like 2 jobs. And I was like, I don't want to work 2 jobs. I'm good, man. I got good employees. I want to take care of and I want to, be present and I don't need to think about these other things. So I just stopped playing and I focus 100% on Dr. Dabber.
that's awesome, bro.
Dude, we fucking said
Sorry. It's our 1 o'clock meeting.
Dude, we said phones on silent.
It is, but
at least 4 or 5 times.
It's on silent. It's the issue with
that's
the
like
meetings.
strike number 2 for bigs, ain't it?
I have to go airplane mode.
We're gonna have to start putting your phone in the cubby.
But do you know why
back there?
Do you know why it rang though? It's our 1 o'clock meeting that we have scheduled.
Look, we're not gonna make it today, man. We got a special guest.
Is this
airplane?
Are we still live?
Oh, we're live. Yeah, we're live.
Anytime they can make fun of me, it's live. Trust me.
Yeah, we're
Anytime
live.
they can harass me.
Live. We need all this. Hong Kong,
Sorry.
place I definitely want to go. Obviously, COVID is tough situation. There's other things going on too. Don't get into that too much, but I want to visit there for sure. I definitely want to experience the culture. Hopefully, weed will catch up at some point. I don't know.
I got weed there.
Tell us a weed story in China.
Well, there's a good weed story because I got smoked out outside my hotel in China randomly when I was in Shenzhen by like some like Chinese national's son. It was fucking wild. But he asked what we were there for, and I showed him like why we were like in the lobby bar or something like that. And we were talking, and he's like, "Oh, what? You're here for this? Like, come outside." And he sparks up a J. I'm like,
just like that,
bro, right out the ashtray at the fucking front hotel. And I'm like, he's like, "No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." I'm like, "What are you talking about, bro?" He's like, my dad's a fucking, no one's going to fuck with me. No one's going to talk to me. No one's going to like say anything else.
How do they know? How do people know?
I guess people know in China. I fucking don't know, man. I don't want to know.
Sketch, I don't want to know, dude. You're like, that's not
me. He lit it up, bro.
I'm not you. It's
yeah,
like,
dude.
Hold on. I don't like situations like that because it's like, you might be good, but I'll be fucked. And I won't know.
Yeah,
shit.
he's like, don't worry. I was like, all right, cool, bet.
It's tough in areas like that because the paranoia and fucking kicks in.
Dude, it's crazy. I don't want to be at some Chinese work camp, man.
Well, and you've been told that's
you just get high and you're like, oh, they know. They know. That's the word. It's like, yo, you see them looking over here?
Dude, and that's like after not smoking, right?
Oh,
like you go, like your
It kicks
tolerance
in.
is fucking down. And, jeez, fuck.
That's ballsy too, because you got to trust that he actually is telling you the truth, and he's not like, because we had an instance in Vegas once where it was like, oh, you're good here, you can smoke weed here in the club.
He's like, this is my alcohol company. We bought this whole section. You guys are good. Light that shit up, man.
The weekend's performing
security
right on
fucking comes and gets it.
Bro,
Oh,
this guy lights it up, gets his puffs in. Then he's like, here, man. Quick as I grab it. I don't even think I got to hit it. They were like, whoop. And the guys are in plain clothes. It was like FAA and shit.
What?
In Hakkasan in Vegas. Bad move, bro. This was like 2013, 2014 type shit.
I got like a pocket. That was one joint out of the 7 or 8 I rolled that are like baseball bat joints. So
dude,
as
you guys do it right in fucking
got away.
LA, bro.
I'm pulling them out of my pocket. As soon as I see them, I'm pushing them behind me because we're sitting on someone's like table scene, right? And I'm doing this, and I have a Dr. Dabber on me. I have a Dr. Dabber on, with like 4 grams of wax in a jar because I would just stuff it. And so I'm tossing all this out of my pockets as I see them emerging. Oh, bro, it ended crazy too. We're like, yeah, I mean, we can probably tell it. Yeah.
This guy got a ride from the security guy that worked at the MGM. Was like, hey, man, you need a ride? I got
out of there.
Like, yeah, man. Yeah.
They're like,
and then he pulled him to the Signature Suites around the corner. That's where we were staying.
Wait right here. I'm like,
I got
right
lucky.
here.
My boy's girl.
You didn't get 86?
So he comes out. The guy's like, get out of here, get out of here. Well, they grab me right out of the section, and he goes, he won't leave. He's still sitting up in the section, right? And so there's 2 guys right here. He turns to me and goes, wait right here. And then as soon as he turned his back, I'm like, I fucking jetted through the club. I'm going, excuse me.
So that's, shit.
I start running. I must have said,
still in the club.
We're in the top section behind the weekend.
Ran all the way out of Hakkasan straight through the MGM.
Straight through the MGM.
And all the fucking bouncers are probably like getting fucking calls as you're running by.
Full sprint mode through the casino. I bust out the side door, and there's a security vehicle right there. And I'm like,
with the yellow lights, the white truck.
And I'm like looking like this, and I see the towers where we were staying. And I'm like, okay. And the guy's like, he could see me looking around. He goes, how you all right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I just got lost. I'm trying to figure out how to, he's like, hop in, I'll take you over there. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm like,
he's like, all right, we got him, boys.
Yeah, exactly. He takes me right, bro. Drives around, drops me off. I'm waiting in our suite for him. I'm like, please. I'm like, all right, how much money do I have me? Because I have to bail him out if he gets like. I'm starting to go through like the whole like, okay, what happens if this happens? And then randomly I hear like,
it was all bad for me. I had some like if I would have went to jail that night, you wouldn't have been able to bomb me out type shit. Like I would have had some other shit happen, and that would have been all bad. But luckily, my homeboy was dating the VIP manager at the time, and they knew her, and they were like, "Just let him go."
Yeah, thank God that didn't happen. We smoked the joint outside.
They decided, like, are we going to take him now and ban him and do the whole process, or just let him go? And you got to know how to move. I always talk about it, but this is
you know why they call it 86?
We might get into that off the mic. No, hell no. We didn't get banned from nothing, baby.
They used to call they call
Italy stories too. I ate in Rome a year ago from Barcelona. Dog hit all over me. I got the Louis Vuitton duffel. I'll never travel with that shit again. Bad luck. You know like what I mean? Mark. Yeah, all the marks out there ruined it for everybody, you know?
Jamie takes down marks.
Dudes with tattoos and a Louis V red flag. Dead giveaway, you know? Dead giveaway. Straight up.
Yeah, thank God that didn't happen in fucking China. No, that was good. I smoked the joint, walked inside. I was like, everybody's looking at me. I'm going to go upstairs. Like, that's
straight up. Back to the room. Sit there and chill out. You feel like you really did something though when you get away with that.
Oh, dude, I've always been kind of like rebellious, kind of like whatever.
Don't take the risk, kids.
Don't. Yeah.
But shit, man. And then getting back into it is like, where do you see what's this year looking like? And talk about collaborations. You guys got a lot of dope shit. We're looking at right here. This is a collaboration with Sugar Sean. Any MMA fans know who Sugar Sean is.
Sean O'Malley
sold out right now, limited edition.
Yes, sir.
That's super
big
exciting.
Fight, possibly a championship fight coming up too. So
dude, that's nothing light. You know what I mean? And then you guys got other people coming on and stuff like. What's it looking like, and where's your focus, and where's Dr. Dabber going from here? Now that everyone knows the Dr. Dabber story.
So we got a lot coming. Right now we're working on a lot of new like collabs and partnerships. Can't really get into too much right now but we're working on a lot this year, and then we're working on something really big, starting hopefully around our 10-year anniversary later this year. We'll be starting the launch of our Gen 3 line, which will be fucking crazy. So over the next, I think we have our product roadmap already for the next like 2.5, 3 years,
Damn.
But yeah, we have a lot of exciting shit coming. Yeah.
That's dope. And just to see it roll out, I mean, you're already working on the next 2 to 3 years. I don't think people understand that either. Because like fashion moves a year ahead or 2 years ahead, maybe, right? But like technology and stuff, that's like
it takes like R&D and there's like a lot of fucking time in between that you don't realize until like building products. It takes like from initial design to like first prototypes, the second prototypes, the third like version 2.1, version 3.9 there's sometimes we go through like 25 prototypes before we so that process takes some time, so and then production and shipping, and so you got to be planning well in advance. And
the glass on the table is from Glass Vegas, the salt glass piece.
Talk about this.
So that's from our Glass Masters competition, actually.
This was our vote.
Yeah.
Salt glass.
That was the first smoke choice pick.
And shout out to him. He explained it. You guys will see on the video. We have a video of when we went to Vegas Glass Show. We'll be dropping that. Shout out to all the Patreon family. But he explained that he focuses on different textures because you're handling the glass every day, and it's your sensories are a lot of how you feel the glass, and you'll feel different parts of the glass on different days. So there's all these different textures that trigger different things as you're consuming. And I just thought it was real cool how deep he had thought into like
the amount of work that went into that must be fucking
crazy. And that's a fucking crazy piece. I love the eye in general. I have one tattoo on my back, but it's like, man, that's just and
those teeth are fucking sharp, dude. They're like on point, man. And
very realistic.
The teeth, everything is like very it's
art,
crazy.
And then this one as well over here, this spins in the middle, which is fucking
unparalleled. So he's sick. That was our winner in the competition, unanimous from the judges. And that thing is crazy. The Evo is the perfect platform for glass. It's like almost like a trophy for it. We made it like, we wanted to make like a neutral base so you could show off pretty much any glass piece. Like there was people making guns out of the units. It was sick with laser pointer. Like, we
saw the truck.
The truck. Yeah, dude.
And shit. All a lot of functional
so many
pieces.
fucking sick
shit. It was like
shit.
the Dr. Dabber was like in the back of the truck and it was like piped to the,
yeah, man.
I mean, super realistic. And then he's driving it around and man, I was impressed for sure.
A lot of big artists entered this year, which was super exciting to see. I think like Dan Hoffman was there. Doja Glass. We had Saul Unparalleled, who just won another competition this year. Also, he's fucking killing it. That dude crushes glass.
Hobbs.
Yeah, Hobbs, dude. That fucking Hoops. That skull, bro. That was one of my favorite pieces. I was like going through.
That kind of grew on me as I kept looking at it.
There was like the whole the opals and man. There was like. I thought it was going to be really fucking tough. There were so many winners. We wanted to showcase them all. I thought there could have literally been like 25 that I would have been like, okay, yeah, I could see that as a winner. Like, you know what I mean? Like there were so many and not all of them made it to Glass Vegas either. So there was, I think we had 39 entries this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was crazy? Impressive. You could tell that it was such high quality and in demand because you go to the show and like 3/4 are already say sold.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, everyone was like digging it.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, man. Shit. So collabs coming. The future's bright.
Future's real bright. We're you're gonna see a lot coming from us, and then like we're trying new things. We're really like putting ourselves out there right now. We're gonna really amp it up in the next like year or two.
Coming into year 10. This is the 10th year.
10th anniversary, August.
Milestone, man.
Official sponsor for First Smoke of the Day.
Hey, Dr. Dabber, First Smoke family.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? For real, we'll be rocking with these, and we've been rocking with the product and love everything you guys do. And just you and your journey, knowing the story and the person behind the brand, I think is super important, especially these days, so people can kind of get a feel for like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going to continue to do this.
This isn't a Chad. This isn't a whatever they want to say or whatever. Sure. It's like, nah, man, this is a real entrepreneur, a real American story. And this is why this country is, labeled as like something that people aspire to be a part of, because you can literally take an idea and then 10 years later be around with all these, awesome, amazing inventions and creations and a business that's supporting tons of people that are dope. So it's dope. And like, obviously our clothing brand didn't work out and like we did other shit and like we still come full circle though. And like as entrepreneurs,
bro, I fuck with you guys every venture you guys have had and organically fuck with you guys. I fucking love what you guys do. Always I fucking love supporting the homies, man. I fucking, I love what you guys are doing now. I see nothing but a bright future for you guys. It's fucking awesome.
We're happy to build alongside you guys, man. And everything's organic and it's fucking meant to be.
Hell yeah.
And it's just for you to still be on this journey, consistent with the thing you started back in 2012. Like, damn, that idea. It's like, because I remember I was like around and it's just like, that's surreal when you were there when I was coming testing fucking products. Yeah, for sure. And you were telling us about all of it. I even remember asking you about your branding and how much you spent and being like, telling Lance like, oh dude, like we can't spend that. Like,
yeah, bro.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like just trying to figure it out though. Yeah, like we finally found our little first graphic designer and all this shit. And like, it's a journey and people don't realize though, they're like, damn, that shit popped off. And you're like, yeah, 10 years later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And 20 China trips and your own factory and what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah.
Nothing's been easy about this industry. So we're happy to be able to highlight some of these stories, especially like yours, about how you've able to, pioneer into this and make it like real business.
Yeah, man. I fucking love that you guys are giving me the platform to tell my story because this is my first interview pretty much ever, like live. Never really like kind of really like went in, like I didn't go on shows and like I was very private, but it's definitely nice to fucking be able to tell my story. So yeah, thank you guys.
You have a crazy one. Professional poker player. You know what I'm saying? Moving to, I mean, it's a wild journey, bro. It really is.
Straight up.
Yeah, we're going to, continue just keep on fucking innovating, using the best materials, use only, quartz to glass, air pathways, or, whatever material, never going through silicone, never going through, everything. Like you wouldn't you know what I'm saying? Like we're always going to just do the best by our fans, by the people that fuck with us. We want them to fuck with us for a long time. So, real quick. I mean, we're talking about Gen 3. We're talking about like, oh, Switch 2's coming. Like, what are we going to do? I was like, well, we released the Switch in 2018. 4 years later, people still rocking with the first Switch they ever got. Like, I see it lasting for another, like my engineers, like I could see them lasting for another 10 years. So we still have to support that product with accessories and shit. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's, our products are made to last. We don't use atomizers that need to be replaced. Our shit, like our atomizers, I think average is like 8 months to a year on average for our atomizers on any of our e-rigs. So we're not making a product that is like meant to be replaced. We're making a product that's built to last. Like we're not like, there to like upsell you on it, like atomizer and shit. Like, no, we're building a product for a great experience, and we're going to continue to do that. So everything that comes with us is always going to be the highest quality materials. We pay no like margins are, probably much smaller than many people in the industry, but we put so much love into the product. So you can continue to see that from us for sure. In the future, that Gen 3 is going to be fucking sick. So
Gen 3 is going to be different than the Switch 2, right? Or
that's the start of it, man. That's the start of it.
So new, all right.
Something's brewing.
We'll have to talk about a little bit of that, after and shit. That's exciting though. That's exciting. And bro, congrats on everything.
Yeah.
10 years. We're excited for the future. We're rocking with it. And man, let's keep making shit happen for real.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
We're looking forward to it,
Absolutely.
man. We appreciate you. And shout out to the whole Dr. Dabber team.
Yeah, man. You guys are literally what makes the brand. I mean, we would be nowhere without you guys. And it's just like everybody treats it like it's their own, right? It's like when you have people at your business who like treat your business like it's their own business, then you know it's going to be successful. And you know that like they are the life, like it's beyond me. It's all them. And yeah, you guys are the best. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
Straight up.
Shout out to our Patreon members who made it out to the family reunion.
Yep.
Epic family reunion. And for you guys, like, thank you for supporting First Smoke of the Day. I mean, honestly, like, huge shout out to Patreon. And if you haven't been on there or haven't been on First Smoke Patreon, the amount of extra stuff we film before and after, and the amount of extra knowledge or
extra shows.
Yeah. It's all on the Patreon.
Checking in episode 2. So
yeah, thank you to everybody who came by the booth too.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you guys are like, we had a steady line all night, man. It was dope.
Hell
it was
yeah.
dope. So
man, appreciate all the support from every direction. Patreon, past guests of the show. We're really creating a family here, a community here. We're happy to have everybody and work alongside such talented people with awesome stories, and we can all connect and relate at some level. So it's cool to see all the innovation within this space, and the fact that 10, 15 years ago when you're graduating high school, you couldn't have been like, oh, you didn't think that in your mind. Like even, you know what I mean?
No, hell no.
So now it's like, yeah,
man.
You're going to get less roadblocks, more pathways in this industry.
I think so. Yeah. I think the way it's going, obviously, it's being like how long until federal, right? Like and then everything changes. Everything changes. But when everything changes, obviously it brings in the wrong people too.
Roadblocks.
So, it's
the
like
evolution.
Yeah, but you also got the people who are just in it for the dough, right? Like when shit goes to the next, there's a lot of like big money comes in and tries to fuck shit up, and we don't let them, and it's like and then they move on to like crypto or AI. So it's like whatever the next fucking big thing is. But obviously the same thing is going to happen at the federal, like when it goes federal, and right, we're going to have the same issues again, and we'll have to deal with them.
Yep. Big pharma will step in, or they'll start to hire out huge outdoor grows or greenhouses at $50 million greenhouses and try to produce the lowest dollar and they'll be having
good enough. Top shelf, $70 an eighth. Okay, let's go.
Just
like,
spray
get
it.
the fuck out.
Just spray it. You know, like whatever. Who even knows, right? And they're seeing a lot of it. I mean, a lot of places battling in Florida right now because pictures leaked out and it was like, holy shit, you see that grow? That's horrendous.
I would also think that some of the dispensaries would be like have some sort of quality control system. Like, oh, we're not going to sell that for 70. Right. Maybe not. That smells like hay. Okay, let's bring that down like to the lower tier. Like there has to be reasons why it's that high. It can't just be the grower. It can't just be, it's got to like, it has to burn white, like white ash. Like I get this shit burn fucking black, like harsh on stings your tongue when you smoke it. Joint goes out fucking 20 times.
It's
like
not an enjoyable experience.
No, man.
It's because of people don't know buying criteria for what they can move and the amount of time they need to move it. It's like a grocery store. People need to study that model more. They don't have a bunch of browned lettuce on the fucking aisle. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't have shit.
They buy what they need on the daily. It's
you're not putting brown lettuce on the sale rack, right? Nah. You're pulling that shit. So you're giving it back.
Take notes from the produce.
Yeah, man.
And just because it's in a miler doesn't mean we don't look and see like, oh shit, this was back in October,
8 months ago. Yeah, fuck it.
You know,
yeah.
Now they're playing
this
games
is
with
fresh
that.
cannabis. So yeah, exactly. But that doesn't work either because as a consumer, you don't go back to something that wasn't enjoyable.
Yeah,
you know, it's not going to happen.
Even if you wait till sale days, right? And then you get like the top shelf for fucking, and then you get and you're like, oh, okay, it's dust. It's fucking 8 months old. Smell like, you know,
it's tough, but that means there's a lot of opportunity.
Yes.
So come out and fucking innovate and do your thing.
Yeah.
Let this be an inspiration.
That's what, right? Yeah, innovation drives innovation. Like I said,
I will say a lot about your story, bro. It's been about timing.
Oh yeah,
because you like online poker now. If you hopped in that, totally different. Vape this. If you hopped in this now, totally different, right? Your timing though has been aligned with like
trends. See them kind of early. Like have people around me that help with that. Like who's like, shit that's relevant and
you've been around a lot of like curators.
Yeah.
And that's what poker, like you were saying in that community. You're right. Cause a lot of kids are like, oh, this kid's a crypto wizard. This kid, he knows
2017 crypto. Like literally when did the Bored Apes mint? Like in April, I was in May buying fucking like, NFTs or like there's, early adopters. I could see growing industries like kind of, and so can a lot of the people like, around me, and you guys are great at it too. And yeah, like fucking the shit you guys put out, like
it's a crucial part of being an entrepreneur.
Yep.
Timing.
Early adopter of trends that you think will last long enough to have a company.
That's right.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, amazing talk today, boys. Amazing episode, amazing story, bro.
Just like talking with the homies, right?
Yeah,
like nothing changes, dude.
It's the first one of the day, baby, So appreciate everybody, man. Shout out to everyone that came to the family reunion. We will be doing another one 2024. Be on the lookout. It's going to be 10 times bigger. Dr. Dabber will be there. We appreciate you, Jamie, the whole team. And we're looking forward to you
guys, man.
We're looking forward to this whole year. We're about to go crazy.
The team loves you guys too, man. Everybody on the team fucking like fucks with you guys so hard, man. Like, yeah, dude. So
hell yeah. We're at 2023. We got a lot in store.
Hell yeah.
I think 420, we can bubble something up. Be on the lookout.
I think so.
All right, man. Episode 83. It's my man Jamie, Dr. Dabber. The doc is in. We're out. First smoke of the day.
Yo, welcome to the Diamond Mine. The DiamondMine.LA, California source for boutique genetics. Powered by yours truly, Blackleaf. And you know what that means? That means I'm bringing my best genetics into this. I'm bringing stuff I've been hiding, harboring away, stuff I haven't wanted to let out. We're bringing all that into the DiamondMine.LA, and we're going to offer that to California. Go on our website, hit the newsletter, and see if you can rock with us. Get on board with some of our genetics and change your garden. The DiamondMine.LA, powered by Blackleaf.